Storytelling has been part of the human experience since the beginning. Storytelling has become part of our fiber, part of our dreams, accomplishments, and joys, but also part of our struggles, failures, and sorrow. Storytelling has made us who we are. Through the centuries, one generation has told it and left stories behind for the upcoming generations. From prehistoric, ancient, and biblical times, we have records of people and cultures and civilizations through the stories they've told and left behind. Jesus preferred to relay his messages through parables, using stories to illustrate certain truths. Storytelling is so much more than fiction, fantasy, and fable. Every day we tell stories. We tell stories to ourselves. Who am I? What is my purpose? We tell stories to our spouses, our children, friends, family, to our employer and employees, to our clients, our readers, to our community and the world, and yes, to the panhandler at the traffic light. Without storytelling, we will have no record of history of our past. Without storytelling, we will be ignorant and indifferent, and our future will be uncertain. Everybody has a story, a personal narrative. Every single person has a story to tell. You have, I have. The life we live right now is our story. The life we have lived up to today is part of that story. Our past has shaped and scarred and molded us. But there's a clear distinction we need to make. Our past does not define us. Past failures and traumas do not dictate our future. It doesn't matter whether we're a teenager, single, married, divorced, in a relationship, middle-aged or old. What matters is that we live each day with the knowledge that we have worth and that we have a purpose. Each one of us has unique gifts, abilities and insights that no one else on earth has. Age and gender and race and language and culture does not define our value as a person or determine our character. Out of the 7.5 billion people on earth, there is no one like you. You are no accident. You have endless potential, and you have a unique story to tell. Many of us suffer from loneliness. We are lonely in spite of being surrounded by people and being connected 24/7 on all our devices. By learning to tell our story, learning to write it down, we can break the cycle of loneliness, of feeling unworthy or a failure. By sharing our work, as intimidating as it may sound, it can be liberating and break open that self-constructed cage we live in. We tell stories as part of our inherent nature and our need to create art. Through our art and through our writing and telling our stories, we find meaning and give meaning and find fulfillment. Storytelling is powerful. It changes lives. It transports, transforms, and heals us. You can learn to tell a story. You can learn to tell your story. You can learn to tell stronger and more powerful stories. You can learn to tell stories to find healing and meaning. You can learn to tell stories for fun and enjoyment and to make a living. An aspect of storytelling that is often underappreciated is the healing power of stories. During our lifetime, we all experience struggle, pain, and suffering, some more than others. Some of us also are exposed to life-altering trauma, to abuse, and to chronic illness, often leaving us scarred, hurting, and suffering. This can lead to despair. When we cling to the past or to our present predicament, we remain trapped in a cycle of negative self-talk, of guilt, and feelings of unworthiness. Storytelling, focused reading, expressive writing, and creative art can all help us, empower us to grow, and reach our full potential. These are not quick fixes, but they are tools that we can learn to use. Telling stories is not only for a lucky few, for the famous, for the affluent, or for born storytellers. It is a myth that only special people can tell stories. Storytelling is for ordinary people by ordinary people. Storytelling is for you and for me. Storytelling can be learned. And you don't need to be a professional writer to tell and write your story. You don't need to be a trained artist to draw and paint and discover new ways of expressing yourself and sharing your story. Granted, as in the case with any form of art and creativity, there's a wide spectrum of quality, ranging from novice to master. Creating quality art is a gift, the product of applying oneself, the result of hard work and refusal to give up. With effort, grit, and dedication, and learning from successful storytellers and artists, you and I can become competent. The responsibility rests on our shoulders as we learn and master the craft to create quality art and stories, to not sacrifice quality for quantity, especially as we learn to make a living from our art and stories, and also to do so in humility, in a moral and ethical way. Another misconception about storytelling is that it is limited to the spoken and printed word. Storytelling includes all possible mediums and formats. Powerful stories are also told through visual art, through music, song and dance, film and photography, through performing arts, and through combinations of the above. We tell stories to entertain and to enchant, to inform and inspire and challenge, to heal and grow and find meaning. But stories are also used to indoctrinate and to instill fear and to bully and to terrorize. Fortunately, we can also use stories to build bridges and cross divides between people. We can learn how to get paid for our stories and making our art. By getting paid for our work, it enables us to tell more stories and better stories and reach more people and impact more lives. The Tell Your Story, Change a Life course has been divided into 3 modules. Module 1, Tell a First Time Story, teaches the basics of storytelling. Module 2, Tell a Stronger Story, teaches how to take a storytelling to the next level. And Module 3, Tell a Brand New Story, teaches how writing and creative art can help us find healing and meaning. Good storytelling, outstanding writing, and quality art is hard work. It requires considered effort. It demands dedication. But don't lose heart. We can learn how to do it. It's about realizing you have a story to tell. Unique stories that only you can tell in your distinct way. We can continue living an average life. Living a life of compromising, of complaining and blaming. Believing the myth that there is nothing we can do about it and about our present situation. We can continue living the life of a victim, living our bland lives, stifling our dreams, never pushing ourselves, never daring outside our comfort zone. Or we can take responsibility for our situation, decide to change. Not for a moment does such action nullify the significance of the big and painful things in our lives. Loss of a loved one, loss of employment, abuse, serious injury or chronic illness. No, it's about how we respond to it. If we were hurt and traumatized, when we cling to resentment, unable to forgive, unable to process it and move on, we remain the prisoner, giving power to the other party or the situation over us. We remain trapped, and inside, we slowly die. We all experience pain, suffering, and struggle, some more than others. It's part of life. The difference and choice lie in our response. We choose what power it will have over us. There's a place for medication and psychotherapy, but we can also learn effective coping strategies. Learning to tell our stories is one such strategy. We give validation to what has happened, but from a position of hope, from a position of strength. Look in the mirror. That person will determine what is going to happen. That person can help you change your life by starting to tell your story. I'm not downplaying the role of faith in our lives, but faith without action is of little use. You have to make the decision. You have to live an above average life. Start by learning to tell a different story about yourself, about your life, about your loved ones, about your world, and about your future. Imagine finally writing and finishing that book. Imagine writing more powerful prose. Imagine learning to forgive yourself and start on a path towards healing. Imagine how this can change your life, the lives of others, and change the world. This course is not a quick fix or an attempt to brainwash or trick you. This course will not make you happy overnight, or turn you into a millionaire, or make you world famous. But you might be surprised in finding more peace, finding a fresh perspective, and discovering joy by telling and writing your stories. You will have to become intentional and do the work, the writing and the practice. But rest assured, you are not alone. Many others have similar dreams and doubts and face similar challenges and fears. I will act as a guide. I will show you how you can learn to tell your story. I'm convinced that by completing the course, you will change how you see yourself and your place in the world, change your ideas about storytelling and creativity and its importance in our lives. Whether you want to just write your first book, or write more powerful prose, or recover from hurts and get your life back and live an above average life, this course can open that door for you. Expect change, expect growth, expect to set out and write a new story to your life. When we show up, do the work, combine the power of storytelling and writing and art, an amazing thing happens. We change. We grow and mature and find deeper understanding and meaning. You will discover you have a story to tell. Your stories matter. You'll also discover telling your story can change a life. It can change your life. It can change the lives of others. And yes, it can change the world. Are you ready to tell your story? You can start today.